Welcome back. A live look outside our Warner Brothers Discovery Studios here in Burbank, right outside our window, where it's just almost 9:30 at night, as Democratic lawmakers are now stepping up their opposition to Paramount's buyout of this company. Congressman Jamie Raskin, Democrat, has sent a letter to Paramount CEO David Ellison, accusing him of colluding with President Trump and urging him to answer lawmakers' questions about the deal. Paramount did not respond to a request for comment. Warner Brothers Discovery is the parent company of this network, CNN. Critics of the merger have raised concerns about CNN's journalistic independence under Paramount's leadership and the close ties between President Trump and the Ellison family. To sports now, the LA Lakers, one of the most valuable sports teams, have been sold for a record-breaking figure. Former Disney CEO Bob Iger and venture capitalist Josh Kushner, who is the brother of President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, are paying $12.5 billion for the 17-time NBA champions. Most of us had no idea the Lakers were even for sale. Their latest majority owner, Mark Walter, had the team for barely a year. The NBA Board of Governors still has to sign off on the Iger-Kushner deal. Joining me now is Dan Wyke, the Lakers senior writer for The Athletic, covering this story today. Here's the headline from The Athletic. Lakers to be sold to Bob Iger, Joshua Kushner 1 year after Mark Walter bought the team. So you've been working on the inside story here. What's the inside story? How did this happen?
How was your weekend? Did you spend $12.5 billion on a sports team? Because that's how this seems to have went down really, really quickly. And that's one of the biggest takeaways, right? This was a big surprise. It was a big surprise for people inside the Lakers organization. It was a big surprise for people around the NBA. There was no auction. There was no, the Lakers are for sale. There were no signs around the building. As best as I can tell, this was, Bob Iger said 3 days. I heard maybe on Friday the conversation started. But this moved really, really quickly, and the dots are kind of there to connect as to why.
So Bob Iger and Josh Kushner were apparently looking at buying an expansion team
Correct.
for Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Then they get word that Mark Walter may be interested in selling the Lakers. Mark Walter, who also owns the Dodgers and several other sports franchises, is under DOJ investigation for potential loan fraud. How much does that have to do with what's going on here?
I think certainly, right, like the reporting about Mark Walter and the investigations from the FBI and the DOJ certainly seems to have accelerated this process, right? Bloomberg today had a story about that he was looking to raise capital. This is a lot of capital, right? This is one great way to raise a lot of capital. I think what's been fascinating watching this happen in real time here is that this just all happened 14 months ago, where this franchise moved from family ownership to this brave new world of venture capital, and it was going to be great for the Lakers to modernize, right? And now they've been bought and sold twice in less than 16 months.
Well, and a big part of that modernization was that they would have the Dodger owner who had transformed that team into a champion. And a lot of the same people who were working for the Dodgers were coming over to the Lakers. So first off, what happens to all of them? And are the Dodgers potentially for sale?
As far as we can tell, as of right now, the Dodgers are not a part of this transaction. It's a separate thing. But we don't know for sure, right? It's a totally reasonable question to ask. As far as the Dodgers people that were in the building with the Lakers, it certainly feels like they won't be there anymore, right? You had Andrew Friedman and Farhan Zaidi, who are baseball executives with the Dodgers. They were at player evaluations before the draft with the Lakers. They were definitely involved in those decisions. The president of business operations, Lon Rosen, was a hired made from the Dodgers. I can't imagine that that's going to stay. I think change is certainly coming again when this organization that was so desperate for moderation.
So these owners are pretty famous names. Bob Iger, obviously the longtime CEO of Disney, and Josh Kushner, whose last name is probably more famous than his first name. Josh Kushner was involved in this FIFA deal to potentially expand sponsorships. That went away. That was spectacularly a failure. Were the Lakers essentially his plan B or maybe his plan C after the Vegas deal?
It's a pretty good plan B if you can land the Lakers instead of FIFA. I think what rubbed people so poorly about the FIFA deal is that soccer, and particularly the World Cup, is such a corporate, right? belongs to everyone. It's played in. It doesn't matter if you're rich, if you're poor. It doesn't feel like the type of thing that's for sale. And I think it being for sale really turned a lot of people off. I think this is different. I think we've seen now, like, a lot of the sentimentality about American pro sports teams is gone. But you're right. I mean, very famous names, very famous spouses.
Right.
Too in all of this. It does feel very Hollywood. It's fitting.
Josh Kushner's married to Carly Kloss, who's a model and actress. Bob Iger's married to Willow Bay,
former host of
NBA Inside Stuff.
Yeah.
They own a female sports team, the soccer team right
Angel
now.
City.
Bob Iger, of course, used to run ESPN, which obviously has a very close relationship and has had the broadcast rights for the NBA Finals for years. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does. Meanwhile, I want to get you on another big NBA story happening today. Russell Westbrook announced that he is retiring. We just did a giant profile that I worked on for several weeks with Russell Westbrook.
Why'd you do this to him? What, you decided he'd had enough?
Apparently he said he's out after spending time with me. He's done with the league. He told us then that he wanted to keep playing. He apparently had some interest with the Washington Wizards and the Sacramento Kings, two teams probably not going to be the NBA champions. He decided to step away. But what do you think is Russell's legacy? Somebody you've covered very closely.
I mean, he's one of the most complicated players to talk about, to watch of his generation. I think he played with such ferocity and energy. You would watch him play a game and you would get tired. The mistakes were loud. The successes were loud. Very much his own person. A nonconformist, right? And nonconformists sometimes are really difficult to kind of put into a box. But he's an MVP. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. Your piece, I think, highlighted he does a lot of really good stuff in his community. He will still do this. He'll be very active in this way. It's just been a weird career. It's been a weird end to the career. But he's going to be in the Hall of Fame, and I think he'll be celebrated.
Yeah, the most triple doubles in the history, NBA 75 greatest players list. But the work he's done in the community, starting his own school, starting his own fashion line, his own foundation, all the stuff he's done to lift up people is really, really incredible.
Very
and he
genuine.
said that his legacy, as he said he wanted to be remembered, is for impacting and inspiring his community, and he definitely has done that.
I believe him.
Dan, thank you so much. What a day for basketball. It's fun to hang out with you here on The Story Is. Details are out about the charges faced by the son of a late Hollywood legend, Nick Reiner, and why this was done potentially with a grand jury to save celebrities from testifying. That's next.